What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, Go Black to Africa. So I wanted to come in here and have a an African talk, I guess, if you will, a brother to sister talk. It's mighty interesting that here today, when we can try to build each other up, and yet you'll get hate and resistance from our own people. Now, in the title, you're going to see is that is like, why do we love others more than we love ourselves? And it's amazing. Here in the last week, I've done some controversial subject matters. And, the interesting thing is that people get in their emotions and they want to go and bring you hate when you're trying to build people up. Now, I want to sit here and I want to, what I think is try to motivate, encourage, and build people up. I'm 55 years old. So, I had to grow and to understand who I was. I had a lot of life, a lot of years rather, in really getting to understand that I got to love me. And no matter what people say, if I don't know who I am and people call me something, that means then I just don't know who I am. When you get upset and you try to defend who you are, you don't know who you are. When you don't know who you are, you know how it is. When I was small, my mom used to say, "Why are you getting upset if somebody call you a name? Are you? Why are you mad when somebody said this and that about you? Is it true?" Let me give some shout outs to each and every one of y'all because a lot of y'all show me love. I appreciate the emails I've been receiving here, and the prayers that the people pray for me and my safe journeys and my family and all that right there. Hey, I believe in speaking into the bosom of the Creator, because those words are powerful. Those words can either bring life or death. And so I've already gotten to a place to understand the power that is. But here it is. Before I get into this, let me give shout out to Lonnie. Well, shalom, my brother. Isaac, what's happening? Greetings, brother. Back to you. Akaway Weary. You're happy for what I'm doing? Okay. Might meet you soon. Okay. Yeah. Hey, who knows? Where are you at? Or where are you from? Or where do you live? My wife gets on me when I end sentences and stuff. And what do I say when I end an at, babe? She's busy. She got her earphones in now. But anyway, lovely Africa. Shalom to you, family. Real truth of the matter. Shalom from Chicago. A shalom to you. Peace and blessings to each of y'all. Lady J, shalom. Go back. My husband and I enjoy your videos. Thank you. And we appreciate your hard work. Today is our 8-year anniversary. Well, happy anniversary to you all. I tell you, every year that goes by, I'm on my second marriage here. I'm on my going on. We're going on our 6th-year anniversary. So, and I put a lot of emphasis and effort in the anniversaries than I do my own birthday because um, to bring two spirit minds together and try to build, because that's what we're talking about, building. You know, building. Your legacy, building your kingdom. You know, king and queendom. Um, is something that we really have fallen out of, and it's very challenging in today's world when it comes to us as a people to love one another. Not only because this is talking about loving yourself, but to love somebody else. Happy anniversary to you. 8 years is impeccable. I wish you triple fold that. KN, hello, Mr. Gold Black. Well, hello, Miss K. How are you doing? Sterling, you're doing a great job. I love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what? I got a lot of new subscribers who's come in. A lot of old ones may have left. There are those I've pissed off who's made mad they left. And you know what? There's only a season and time for everything. I don't expect people to catch on to where I speak of because we are in two different places. We are in two different um, platforms or two different dimensions that some people just can't see what I see. Some people won't be able to understand what I say. And so when I laugh when people say that, they love my channel, this and that, but then when you say something that they disagree with, then sometimes you can see that real person for who they are. And that's when you will be met with, sometimes resistance, what have you. I'm going to unsubscribe to your channel. And I'm like, hey, glad you were here for a moment. But yeah, let me keep on moving on to those out here. Let's see here. DM, greetings to you too. Kaylee, hello from Atlanta. All right, AT in the house. Linda Patton, much love, white love to you and your family. Carry on, continue, move forward. Okay, all right, much definitely. We need the light, yo. We need the light. You know, we need the light. Um, yeah, Kerebuni, brother. Hey, Santi Sana. Santi Sana. Yeah. Bet your Go Black doesn't give me a shout out, says J Rod. I just did, brother. Some people love the shout outs. Okay, all right. Sup, fam, says Feet Funkerson. Truth is freedom. Daryl Pickens says, yeah. What's happening? T Cleo from Tanzania or Tanzania. Webby Nesh, we love you, brother. I have learned a lot from you. I'm in the UK, following always, keep speaking into the bosom of the Creator. Most definitely, I found out you all to have done great things in my life. And I know I want to say hello to everybody. Shout out to each and every one of you as you all come in. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I haven't spoke on this in a long time. I used to do these talks, and trying to build our people and see a different side of what we're so accustomed of seeing. You know, I have had very few positive influence in my life, but they were very impactful. And I have people who call me brother, call me uncle, call me dad, because they say they've never had a male figure in their life who would talk the positive of life, whether it might be criticism, constructive criticism, or be one that really just dig into you about yourself. And I'm thankful that I have people who can see that within me. My intentions is not to hurt anybody. My intention is not to degrade, belittle anybody. For what do I get from doing such a thing? Now, the sad part about it, family, is that when it comes into really trying to build people, guess what? Sometimes you got to tear down the old head and cut it off in order for them to be rebirthed and be reborn again. People don't want that. It's hard for people when you tell them you got a booger in your nose and they don't want to hear you, and then they like want to continue on because they feel like they're embarrassed or they lose who they are, and yet you trying to be real, be like, clean up your act, yo, because these last 2-3 videos, I've hit some very touchy spots and people don't want to hear it. I am not going to sugarcoat Africa and make it seem like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, as they used to say, or soda pop. I'm going to share on all sides, and I'm going to share with the countries that I see in areas that I say, hey, we could do better. Why? I'm going to say that to Black America. I'm going to say that to the the people in the UK and Europe and Canada. If I see people slipping, I don't care who you are. You could be black, brown, green, yellow, white. I have grown to understand that sometimes people need to hear the truth. And if the truth you can't handle, then you just continue on your merry way. But I try to do it in a love and a respectful way. And yes, Isaac, the truth do hurt. The truth hurts. But guess what? Really, it's hard when you have to look yourself in the mirror when somebody critiqued you and you now see what they're talking about, and all of a sudden now, guess what? When you become that new person, or that new country, that new family, that new man, that new husband, that new father, that woman, that new mother, that new woman, that new wife, that new mother. I try to see it in order because we need to get back to places of order sometimes. then when you it then your life becomes fruitful. But when you try to build people, they don't want to hear because most people grade their own report card and they want to give themselves straight A pluses. Now, the last three videos I've done, I hit hard, some say, on Sierra Leone and on Liberia and Africa and certain countries on so-called the lack of infrastructure, the lack of waste management, the lack of electricity, water. People can't handle that. And they get upset and mad. And they thinking I'm hating on Africa. I'm like, look, I'm an agent for Africa. And Africa, it's time for us, Black people in Africa, whether you out of Africa, whether you're in the diaspora, it's time for us really to really clean up house. We got to start cleaning up house, y'all. If you continue on doing the same thing, what good is it for you to never experience something different? Why did I turn off the comments? Sometimes we got to learn to stop responding. I got people who ask me that question. Why'd you turn off the comments? We are so quick to speak as Black people that we never sit back to try to understand somebody. This is a behavior we have, and it eats people up. People feel uncomfortable. They will listen to, look, YouTube, for those of you, most of y'all don't even have a YouTube channel, but there's an analyticals that will show you how long is the average amount of time that people watch. A simple 9-minute videos that I do, I try to keep my videos between 8 minutes and 30 seconds up to about 12, 13 minutes. Do you know what the analyticals of the time watch for the average person, the average of the videos? About 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It was less than that, but you know what? I guess now people are starting to feel what I'm saying. But can you imagine? We are so quick to respond and not say, let me understand this guy. Instead of me getting upset when he said something, let me just try to understand him. Not that what he is saying has to apply to you. We can't handle when we can't respond back. When I did this last year, because it was last year that I turned off the comments, and I shared with people I was doing a test to see the response of how people actually respond back to you. Who's going to get on my email, find my email, email me, and just fuss me out? Why did you turn off this is nothing more than us trying to better ourselves. If people want to hang with me in my channel, I'm going to do some things that's going to challenge you. No different than when y'all see that those who are new, they don't know, I don't have moderators. And I've had people, when trolls come in, people say, oh, why don't you got moderators? You need moderators. No, moderate yourself. What do I mean by that? We have to learn to not respond to ignorant people when they are in these chats throwing off garbage that you got to type back real quick. How about us moderate ourselves and ignore ignorance? Because even when I do videos, nobody says that you have to watch the videos. We need to be able to build ourselves for the betterment. Don't you, when you have kids, or if you got kids, don't you want to see your child, or your children go a mile further than where you were mentally, spiritually, and physically? Don't you want to at least change some things? In 1999, I told myself I will never eat organs from an animal ever again. I have to change the way I eat. My folks ate that way. My grandfolks ate that way, and it stops and ends with me. My kids ain't gonna eat no kidneys, ain't gonna eat no hearts, ain't gonna eat no livers, ain't gonna eat no lungs, ain't gonna eat no stomach, ain't gonna eat no. We are not going to eat the organs. Now, is anything wrong with that? No. There are cultures of people who don't waste nothing of the animal. But I know what a lot of those foods do to us when it comes to our health. Why do I want to eat an organ that is used to filter toxins? Kidneys, the stomach, where we know the shiznit is in. But we have found to be food to eat because we got it off the master's table. When are we going to change now and at least build our children? Say, look. Okay, for me, okay, I can't speak to you all, but I'm just saying, I had to stop eating pork. Pork definitely does an issue with high blood pressure. My mama, my daddy, my sister, my brother, they all struggle with diabetes and on high blood pressure. Do I have high blood pressure? Do I have diabetes? No. Why? I decided I was going to change for the betterment. And guess what? I had to tear down some old schools of thoughts. And when I sit here on my channel and I sit here and I bring out some of the dirt on Africa, or it might apply to some of you all, people get upset. When you try to build people, man, they gonna attack you instead of saying, hold up, let me understand this man's heart. Let me at least feel his pulse to see. Let me go through his videos to see, is he all the time hard like this, negative maybe, bringing out oh, hold up. This man done went through Africa and then helped out an orphanage, built their roof, bought beds for them. Whoa, hold up. There's another video. This guy was over there and wound up helping the homeless. Whoa, there's another video he's done. This man has gone and helped to try to get the kids off the streets, get them back in school. Whoa, see, when you want to find out about Go Black to Africa, you got to dig deep. Nobody wants to go through all the records of the videos to find out who this guy is. They just want to hear that one video where this just didn't sit well with you, and we want to now go and try to destroy it. But I'm saying for this video, we have the propensity to want to destroy each other. But isn't it funny? I wrote some of these down because I want y'all to even understand this. We can respect other people who has no disregard for us and will give them the most respect. See, now I'm about to step on some toes because some of you all, if you just be honest with yourself, you just ask yourself the question, do I do that? See, some of us, we can go work for others and respect them on the job, but can't respect our own when we come back home to our own. We can, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full. We can bend over backwards. They will task us to the T. And all of a sudden, you give your allegiance, your heart, your sweat, and you bite your lip while you're sitting there at work. But you can respect them, but come home and be ready for war in your own household. Why is it we can love others first before we love ourselves? Why can't, let me continue on this list right here. Find yourself in this. See, people, it's hard for people to look at themselves and say this because this is about building. First, it's about tearing down. See, if you don't want to, it's hard for us to want to have a renewed mind. It's hard for us to change a character. It's so hard for us to want to do business differently instead of doing business as usual. This is what's so hard for us. And then we wonder why we can't make it and try to get to a place where we have aspirations and stuff like that because we keep doing the same thing. And it's painful to change. I'll be the first one to raise my hand. It is hard to let go of your old man. It is so hard. Why? Because we spend more time trying to act like we are something so great that we don't have no fault. Now, now people people would tell me, Ray, oh, you think you're so perfect. You think you got no problems. You think that y'all, some people need to go through my records and my videos and listen to me tell you my dirt. I'm far from clean and perfect. My hands are dirty, but they clean though with the spirit of the most high that is within me though. But isn't it funny? We can also keep other people's houses clean, other people's businesses, other people's country, but come back to your own and will shit on your own front door. Will piss out your own door, throw trash on your own city street, throw trash in your own neighbor's yard, throw trash, and we will go to somebody else's job, pick up, clean up, do whatever they put upon us, but go back to your own and treat it like crap. Isn't this true? They have you with a mop and a broom on the job, with a trash can that you put your trash in. You don't walk down the hallways out of your cupboard, your cubby hole, or your office and just dump trash on the floor. You don't sit here and just throw your cup on in the hallway or whatever. But as soon as you leave that job, you will go back and you will just drop trash all in your own place. We have a disregard for our own, but can keep their houses and their jobs and their places spotless, but can't do for self. Why is it that we love others so much that we can't even respect ourselves? How is it when I sit here and tell our own people, you are brilliant, you are peculiar, you are wise and smart, people don't believe it? I had told my wife 2 weeks ago, I said, babe, you know what? You are brilliant. Her response was, why do you think I'm brilliant? And really it was interesting because I've never said that to her before in that way. Like, babe, you're brilliant. And that was her response. You never told me I was brilliant before. So I had to explain why she is brilliant. But there's times when we sit here. It's times when somebody tries to tell you you're beautiful, you're marvelous, you're great. You don't have to carry on like you're carrying on. People will attack you because you're telling them they're great. There's times when I have approached young men or women, young men. Excuse me, young man. You are greater than that, and the way you are kind of acting or what you just did and stuff like that, you're greater than that. Like, who are you? If you watch my videos, you will see that I've had responses with some of the locals, Africans. I've had the conversations, sharing with them so many times. When I tell a young woman, I'll never forget, I was in Rwanda. I was out in Rwanda. Oh, where was I? I can't remember where was I. Rwanda was one where I told a young lady she was listening to Africa looks at the bees and all that stuff. They listen to the American music. They don't really, to me, I don't even think it registers, but in America, it don't register either. But I'm just saying that they will recite words and it's like, and I told a young lady, I said, can I call you B? Can I could I call you the B word? Because you are reciting words this young man is calling you such and you're singing it. So can I refer to you as the B? I said, you're greater than that. You are a young lady and should be treated as such. Why would you want to listen to music that will degrade you and have you thinking that you are something that you're not and you will carry on like it? You know what, family? Check this out right here. I want y'all to grab a hold of this right here. I didn't even get this epiphany until when I was in Liberia around one of my elders. and he was saying some things, and I was trying to understand him, and it took me 2 days to be around him. He's like in his like 80s, and when he was sharing with some of the people in the circle at the table we were sitting at, and he would say words like, he would say, you special, you great. He was trying to share that with him, but then and we got into conversations, right, about how some women act, how some men act, and all right there. And there was this resistance by the women, a couple of women who just could not handle how he was just direct and straightforward. And what I found was interesting is that if I sat here and said, women need to get their act together because they ain't about nothing, they be acting childish, this and this and that. Why would a woman respond back to me by saying such if it don't apply to her? Now, this is what I found that was very important. I find out that we want to size ourselves up with the rest of everybody else as though that they are part of us or me and I am a part of them. I had to realize and reckon here in just in the last year or so, I am a man and I don't consider most males who try to portray themselves to be men, I am not giving them that title. What do I mean by that? Who am I to give somebody a title and all right there? If you know who you are and you know that you stand for something, you know how to differentiate between what is real and what is not. How can you call yourself a man or a woman behaving like something that is not even the so-called image of? But we're quick to argue with other people. And what the elder was saying was, why are you going to bring yourself down to certain people's levels when they act and behave in certain fashions and you upset trying to defend yourself when you are bringing yourself down to their level? Just because I say men don't mean I'm talking about all males. But we get upset and mad when we have brothers and sisters who's trying to uplift, trying to build people, and yet people will fight and resist and will go at you and attack. We hate ourselves so much. Ourselves. We hate ourselves so much that we take that pain and that fight, that war against our own. Because when we see the very thing we hate within us, we attack the person who looks like us. This is the problem we're having in Africa, in the Black communities, in the Western world. That we hate ourselves so much. We won't attack the enemy, we will attack ourselves. Isn't it interesting? Hold on a second. Let me get on back right out here on this right here. Let me lay this out because I wrote some stuff down just for us just to chew on. Because I know there's a lot of people. Sometimes, you know what? When a mother, sometimes I gotta remind myself not to give information out raw. Because there's a lot of people who can't handle raw. They like well done. Or a mother, a wise mother, when she's trying to wean her baby from breastfeeding, from the breastfeeding, she has got to be very wise in how does she then transfer the baby over to table food, because table food don't taste like breast milk. So they play the little tricks with the taste buds of the baby to get the baby to be introduced to table food. Hence, when we have babies who don't want to eat their little carrots and their peas and their vegetables because it's like, what do? We find applesauce and mix it up a little bit with it to fool the mind into getting them to try to eat what it is that they can go ahead and get the full nourishments. You see, raw, when you give something raw, it is not manipulated. It hasn't degraded. It hasn't been cooked and loss of minerals and nutrients that are in it. So sometimes I got to remind myself when I'm giving information out, it could be too much. Why? Because I've walked 55 years in life experiences, and a lot of people just ain't got there yet. And it takes time. I couldn't understand when elders were talking to me when I was in my 20s and 30s. So I understand. So sometimes I give straight up, and then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I have to present things a little different. Like with some people were upset when I was saying about Africa got trash in these countries. They need to clean up and have a waste management or whatever, this and that. And it starts with you, it ends with you. And some people can't digest that. But there's always going to be people who just wants to be upset about something anyway. But back to the subject at hand, because we hate ourselves so much. I have watched white YouTubers go in Africa and will videotape all the trash. They will talk certain areas. They will walk through certain areas. They will tell you what they feel. And those haters who be trying to come give me a earful won't say a word to them. Matter of fact, they'll stay subscribed to them because they love them so much but they hate their own and themselves. And this is how I see. Why is it that Black YouTubers don't get the subscriptions like most white YouTubers? And most of us I don't trample through Africa doing a 10-minute video and then move on to the next country. When you watch this is not about white and black stuff like that. But what I'm saying is if you really pay attention, most of those YouTubers that y'all like to watch, they go through Africa, they spend that day in there, they get that film. It might be 2 days, maybe 3, I don't know, but most of them that I see, it's not long. Like some of us be maybe a week, 2 weeks, some month in there and giving concrete content to try to give you a feel of the country, not trampling through, videoing, and then they get millions of views and we struggle at 20, 30 because we know the rest of the people out here ain't gonna look at our videos, but most of our own people ain't going to even try to look at our videos. They rather listen because we hate each other so much. We rather go to somebody else who don't give a hoot about Africa. Only thing they care about is getting that money and doing the video and moving on to the next. How many of them have stopped and even dropped money to help out the African? I haven't seen it, y'all. I know 4 YouTubers who's come in Africa and hit some of these countries, ain't left nothing. Now, I don't know what they do behind the scenes, but they ain't videotape helping out. Donating some money to a cause. No. They get their million something views. They made their $7,000-8,000 off of that one video. And they didn't show that they are helping and assisting just because they're coming in just to drop videos. That I wonder if they're even paying the people. See, my own people, they ask me, well, did you even pay the people to do the video? Did you ask the white joker over here? Did you pay? Did he pay the person for going into Africa and all that right there? See, we ignore everybody else but got a magnifying glass on our own. Now, some people say, well, go black. That's what you're doing is magnifying. I purposely do things because if Africa, certain countries, are going to get their act together, I'm going to bring up the good, the bad, and the indifferent. There again, sometimes we can't handle the truth. Sometimes we can't handle somebody to say, we can do better, y'all. We can do better. Because I'm sitting here in Medellin, South America, and I'm asking myself, it's got poverty all around this place is poor people. But I'm like, they do things a little different. Now, what's the difference between this and a couple of few countries that I've been to, that why can't we build up like this? Now, I know people are going to have 1,000 reasons why. Oh, because of the West or this or that, or this been the money and it's. No, I'm talking about cleaning your house. I'm talking about cleaning your house. I don't think we're too far gone, Eden. I don't think we're too far gone. It takes you and I to be able to teach the youth, not our old heads, people who are in their 30s and 40s, 50s on up. Look, that right there, we got to get to the youth. We need to get here to the youth. We need to speak in the ear of the youth. If all of us found one youth to tell them, you are brilliant, you are smart, there is not one greater than you. You are brilliant. You are something. You are something greater than what you ever can. You are. If we can just, if we all here, there's 294 people, can share that to a youth, that my ideal, that mindset, when the light bulb goes off in that youth, and they get it, can you imagine now what they're going to speak to their kids? What they're going to speak to another youth? And then all of a sudden it starts to roll and it starts to make headway. You got to start somewhere. The problem of it is that we hate ourselves. How can you get a person to help themselves? That's the problem that we have. Nobody wants to look in the mirror. Very few people, I ain't say nobody. Very few people want to go ahead and go through a rebirthing. Very few people want to off the head and grow a new idea, a new character, a new way, a new behavior, a new character. But we can sit here, because we are so much in the gutter of thinking. That's why I've done tests on videos. Thank you very much, dear Cause D, for your heart of giving. I can do a video of something negative, and that video will it will get views all day long. As soon as I do a video of helping an orphanage or the poor, that video will barely, I'm telling y'all, this is the truth. Look at my videos. Look at the videos when I'm at the orphanage. It barely hits 3,000-4,000. And I try to do everything possible to stay my course in this, go back to Africa mind mentality and spirituality, when I know I can easily get into the gossip game and be like, it's going to get 40, 50, 70,000, 100, 200,000 views. I can stay in that lane right there of gossip, because we are in a generation, everybody wants to be in the business of gossip. But why can't we change that? Why can't we get into uplifting and building and all that right there? And I know that, sometimes we have been indoctrinated by our surroundings. The media only shows negative. How often does the media news, when you wake up in the morning, stretch your yawning, the news, they're going to talk about what? The weather, who killed who, what car accidents were there. They're going to talk about, who going to court or what have you. It's going to be negative. But we have to get back to the place of loving ourselves first. Thank you, Sherelle, for your heart of giving. Why can't we? Let me get back to my list right here. Because we will do for others, respect others. We will bend over backwards for others. When I say others, look, I know there are those out there who follow the scrolls, the scriptures, the writings, whatever you want to call it, and all that right there. And it says, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. The problem of it is, see, I don't even like that saying. Because if I don't love myself, that means I can treat my neighbor as I treat myself. There's a lot of people who don't care nothing about themselves. We live in a day and time, people hate themselves. They'll drink themselves to death. They'll drug themselves to death. They'll sex themselves to death. They'll argue, fuss, and fight, kill themselves. They will belittle each other. They will argue and debate and fight and all that. We will do that because this is what we do to ourselves. Come on, y'all know. Come on now. We like to make up ourselves. See, women will put on the makeup. They will spend the time and put on the foundation and then put on, the eye stuff and the cheek stuff. And, some put the eyelids on and put the eyes on and put the hair on and all and the men, they're gonna put on their clothes and they're gonna put on their new jeans and their sneakers or they dress clothes, they suits and they glasses and they designer clothes and all that right there and get in their whip, you know what I'm saying? It costs 60, 70,000. They look good, we smell good and all that right there, but we just stink because we really are trying to make ourselves into something that we're really not. How many people can be basic and love oneself for who you are? Take me as I am, or just go on about your business. I remember having this channel. People said, I've had probably 3 women who sent me emails, right? And I've had probably a handful of men who would want to talk about my appearance. There was 3 women who sent me emails about, my teeth and all that right there. And, uh, some are like, when you put the video up real close to you, you show your teeth and, or some was like, not to be disrespectful, this and that, but, there are some ways that you can go and get your teeth. And I'm like, wow, people are really into not the message or not into the message of what I'm sharing, but they want to go ahead and critique the teeth. Now, here's the interesting thing is that these teeth used to be straight just 3, 4 years ago. I used to have braces. When I went through my divorce, I figured I'm going to go ahead and shine, get myself ready for the next queen out there. You know what I'm saying? Get myself all that right there and all that. I got braces. I spent almost $4,000 on them braces. And the retainers I couldn't stand. So they had a retainer, the little metal thing behind my teeth. I couldn't floss my teeth. I felt uncomfortable with it. So then of course you had the plastic ones you had to wear at night and all that right there. Sometimes I lose it or misplace it or forget to put it in. I said, man, forget all this right here, man. I'm too old. I'm 48 years old. That was back then. I'm 48 years old up here, got some dad going, and I lived with these teeth for the last 45, 48 years. What the heck am I trying to prove? This is what we do though, cleaning us up. I'm right here in Medellin. How many went? It's amazing. I forgot because this is my second time down here in South America, but it is amazing and it's a growing thing here. But you see all of the women, not all of them here, but I mean, you see a pretty nice percentage of women here who's got the fake butts, the big enlarged breasts, and that's their thing. But you know what? There's a lot of prostitution out here. So I guess they're like, yo, I'm trying to get my money. So I got to make sure that I'm looking appealing to somebody who I can go ahead and get paid. I mean, it's huge. But in saying that, what I'm saying though is that sometimes we try so focus on loving what we make up instead of loving the natural. This is how we are. We hate ourselves, so we turn around and hate each other. But when it comes to the others out there, whether it's your job, whether it's other race of people, whether it is, other people's own children. I'm gonna get to this right here, but let me share this right here. So I said, so let me go ahead. I know people coming in and out. So, sometimes we can go to work and respect everything the boss tells us to do. We will bite our lip. We will remain quiet. We will show our patience, and our co-workers will get on our nerves, and we ain't gonna make no sound, no roar, no nothing. But as soon as we get out of work, we ready taking that frustration from job and biting on each other and arguing, and we go in our own households and we disrespect our own husbands and wives and children, and that we attack each other because we going and putting on a facade or this fake person at work. So then sometimes we can go ahead and clean up other people's houses. We can keep everything pretty and neat and all and come back to our own and we'll trash it. We will crap on our own front door. We have a disregard for our own, can't even clean our own house, car, or whatever, or trash our own city or town. We will pick up another person's baby and praise it and say how beautiful it is while your own baby looks at you and says, you haven't even said that to me not once. How many times do you speak and go to another person? How many times have we done this to other people's children or your nieces and your nephews while your children right here? You haven't spoken the word of love or building them up to believe in themselves and who they really are. And yet we can give all the praise and the glory to other people's children, or we can give compliments to another woman or a man or what have you. And yet we won't even tell our own. This is what we do. We will sell out our own. We will go ahead just to impress, to seem like that we have achieved, to be part of other different groups, demographic groups, that we will sell out ourselves to feel as though we have achieved a place, just to say you are in the inner circle in your mind of the others who you think you finally achieved in life, because they told you if you reach a bar, that means success, and you fell for the game, and yet you sit here and belittle or look down on others who haven't achieved because you think that you have arrived. Some of us, we will be faithful to the job, faithful to the boss, faithful to some organization, faithful to an institution. We will be obedient to them and on their and be on our best behaviors. But soon as we get to our own family, our own husband, our own wives, our own children, we will be disrespectful. We will be violent. Some of us are abusive verbally, physically, and we will tear each other down. We will curse each other. We will do all that. But soon as a Karen or Ken comes on, look at the videos on YouTube and see you, no ma'am, no sir, no, you start to film them. You don't tell them or curse them. You don't hit them. You don't try to go ahead and move them out the way while they'll keep you from coming in your neighborhood, keep you from coming in your house, keep you from what is rightfully you. But you can find a way to call them sir and ma'am. You can be on your best behavior and not even curse. You can do all these things, but for your own, because you hate yourself, you rather kill, shoot, murder, backbite, debate our own. This is true. You got to start with your own house first. If you ain't starting in your own house, and then how can you go ahead and somebody sent me an email because somebody got upset when I talked about some of the the management of the waste that are in certain countries and all that right there, and they want to give me an earful, about why I am so on their country when in America, blasey blasey this, blasey that, blasey this, and I'm like, okay, see, you didn't even listen to my video. As much as I get on damn Erica, I'm quite sure that there are many people who's follow me know I give damn Erica, put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, damn Erica, more hell than any other place. But isn't it interesting that we can hate each other so much, but as soon as I say, you know what, we can do better, family. Our people deserve better. Like I told you, I got an email, one of the many emails, one of the people, and I even read some of the emails of people who be hating there, all that right there, and wants to give me an earfeel. I want to understand them. I can read their email. I don't get mad. What am I going to get mad at somebody who's mad at me? I don't need it. I'm past that. I don't need to get mad at somebody because you're mad at me. You the one who got to live with that, not me. But a person wants to sit here, and this is how we do. We will deflect the issue at hand and try to bring in another situation instead of addressing the issue at hand. When I say that, this country or that country can do better in the cleaning up or the betterment, the development or whatever, and starting to do this or that, and then people will get mad instead of saying, first and foremost, is he telling the truth? Is he telling the truth? How is it that I can be there in Sierra Leone and go to a beach that an African don't own and it's a resort? You taken to by a local who takes you to this beach that you gotta pay to get in, and they charge you to sit down on their seats on the beach, and it's spotless cleans. And guess who's all there? A lot majority of the locals go there. But then you freaking got a whole daggone ocean line of beach right there in your city, your town, and got trash everywhere. And you mean to tell me you would rather go pay to the water was the same? You rather go pay them money to be on their beach because you can't keep your own clean? This makes no sense. How is it that we can ignore what we can have rightfully ours? I'm telling y'all, let me say this right here. People get upset when others come in and gentrify an area. Why? You disrespected your own place anyway. You ran it down. It looks terrible. I'm talking about where most of our people live, whether it's in America, whether it is in South America, whether it's in Central America, whether it is in Canada. I've been around the globe. I've been to some of the places. Why is it when we live in our areas, it's in shambles? I was raised this way, y'all. Just because you're poor, don't mean you have to look it. Just because you have a little, don't mean you have to look it. I'll never forget this, family. I watched this one. I watched a lot of the videos on this one show on YouTube called, I think it's The White Underbelly. And this guy videotapes all the people there who's homeless, and those who are strung out on drugs or in prostitution, who are pimps and gang members and all that right there. And they tell their story and all that right there. And I'll never forget this one person who was homeless, probably in their 30s. And the person was homeless for like 8 years. Now listen to this right here. This was a brother. And I've only seen a couple people who had the same response. He asked him how long he was homeless. He said about 8 years. And I'm like, gosh, this guy do not look like he's homeless. And the guy asked him, he said, you dress nice, you look healthy, you clean and everything. And this guy said, if I cannot keep myself clean, if I cannot carry myself in a fashion, if I cannot stay away from those drugs, I will lose who I am. He says, I make sure I will find a place to go wash. And the little clothes that I have, I will wash them and clean them because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like who I am. I used to be a barber for 25 years, y'all. And every time a person gets out the barber chair and they like, man, I feel like I'm brand new. There's something about keeping oneself up and up to par. Just because you poor don't mean you have to look it. Because we already know a lot of people poor daggone in America. I mean, I even see in Africa. I've seen some of the poorest people. Guess what? They find a way to have designer clothes on, their clean shoes, this and that, but still disrespect the area and the place they live. If you don't love yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you hate yourself, everything around you will wither and die. Your relationships, you won't hold jobs long, because when you know that you are great, your greatness, that energy, that aura that you have finds its way into the next place where you're trying to get, because there are people who take note of it. Me and my wife, here at breakfast, this whole week, at this other hotel we were staying with. We wound up checking out, and this older guy, he was a server, you know, and he was so attentive to everybody's need. This guy he's probably in his 50s, running circles around everybody. I'm talking about this man overdid himself. I said, this man earned a tip from me because he went above and beyond. And we made sure we took a picture with the guy and that we would give him something to tell him your hard work was not unnoticed. And he was so grateful. And I do that time and time again when it comes to people who prove themselves, not half-ass, not just doing enough to get by. Those, you know how those who just hate doing what they do, but you always find that one and two who love what they do. And hey, Maze, you must have missed what I was saying. And guess what? Trolls are welcome here. All you got to do is the norm. I never noticed trolls. I never notice them. I rarely notice them. When I see somebody do the 100 messages in a row, then I give them a warning. But they stop because I'm going to talk to them with respect, and I let them, hey, okay, But this is what I'm saying, Amazed. When you know who you are, you don't pay attention to ignorance. I ain't got time to pay attention to ignorance. When I find myself paying attention to ignorance, isn't that a reflection of me? Why do I gravitate to? Why I got to respond real quick to somebody say something? Because you know what people do? They want to say something in the chat or say something for a response, and they also and you say, and now you're in this battle. How about training oneself? This is how we grow. Because we have a problem, family, in our community, if you will, whatever our is, and whatever community is, but we can do better. We can do better. My daughter got mad at me. My oldest daughter got mad at me. For those probably watch, I've said this before, she don't even watch my videos, but my oldest daughter got mad at me. She went to college, full ride scholarship. The girl is smart. I'm talking about brilliant. All my kids are brilliant. All of us are brilliant. It don't matter. But, and went to school for neuroscience. Neuroscience. Got a hold of a couple hard classes, decided to change and go into computer science. And I told my daughter, I said, you're much more brilliant than that. You're greater than that. It didn't sit well with her. But Daddy, and I mentioned it again. And then I mentioned it again. How many times you going to tell me, Daddy? What? Why are you getting mad? Because I'm telling you, you are brilliant. If I told you you were no good, if I told you you was low down, dirty, snake in the grass, you ain't crap, you're stupid. See, why do we get upset when we tell one that you're brilliant? You are greater. You got more to give than that. Not to belittle nothing at all with computer science. Not at all. We need people in computer science. Every job is important. There is not one job less than another. But when you have a way about you to be able to take information and be able to see in between the seams of it, you have a total different way of analyzing and seeing in this whole matrix of this world that we live in. You can step into these areas that will reward you more for it. Because I tell my kids, I've told them, even though they don't like to hear it, You, this is what I told my, this is exactly what I told my daughter. You gave up a field to start off at $350,000 a year to go in a field that starts you off at 70? Daddy, you didn't tell me. And that, why do you always say, okay, all right, okay. I had to tell her after about the third, fourth time, but I want to recite it over and over to get it in her head. And it's in there now. And it buzzes, it's buzzing in there. I know it's buzzing in there. I know it is. But we get upset when somebody say that. You know, you say computer science is hard and expensive. Not for my daughter, is not. That was a breeze for her. That's like, look, when you can grab hold of it, she was a 4.3 in high school. That's why she got a full ride scholarship to Duke University. Young girl, get a full ride scholarship at Duke University. Going into neuroscience and came across a couple of classes that challenged her, which I try to share with her, is like, and you're brilliant. You're going to give up what you said you want to do because what? You have a couple classes is hard. You're greater than that. You're greater than that. You're greater than the hard classes. The hard classes don't define you. But in her head, she was so stuck in GPA. And I was like, forget the GPA. On your diploma, don't say, or on your degree, it don't say what your GPA is. But they can't handle it. People can't handle it when you be up there. Hey, people like it when you say they look beautiful. Oh, you look beautiful. My wife just tell you right now, I don't like when she compliment me when I'm in my clothes. When I put on some clothes and all right there. Ooh, look at you. You look good. I don't care to hear that. I'd rather for you tell me I'm beautiful within. I don't care nothing about the clothes because what you're doing is complimenting the clothes. I mean, come on, y'all. Let's be real. Somebody gonna compliment you when every time you put on clothes and put on your makeup and your attire, whatever, and say you look good. We get all tingly inside. But it ain't you they talking about. They talking about stuff. How many times somebody told you, you know what? You have a very genuine heart. Your spirit, you have a very love, kind spirit. You know what? You have a heart of giving. You know what? You have, how many times do people say that? They don't. Very rare do we ever speak on a person's spirit. But when it comes to building, I mean, there's nothing wrong with some, saying that, you know what? Hey, you have a terrible dispensation about you. You know, we can say that. Your attitude, you got nothing but attitude. You all in your emotions. But we ain't gonna try to build somebody and tell them, you know what? You are beautiful within. You are brilliant. And when we do, it just goes over the head because everybody wants just to be told they're beautiful without. you know. Thank you for your heart of giving, there, Theo. What's the alternative for gentrification? Well, here's my thing right here. I've come to learn this right here at my point in time of my life. I don't care about gentrification. I don't care about gentrification. What do I mean by that? I know I used to get very upset when I used to see, how money can come in and remove other people out of the way because that's what they want. But I had to ask myself too, hold up. Nobody's coming in putting guns to people's heads asking them, you forcefully got to sell your house. Now we know there are programs out there. I've done videos on this too, that there are cities that will play the old raise the tax game on a lot of people who have these houses that's been in for years, and you squeeze them up and all that, squeeze them out and all that right there, this and that. But my thing is just right here for some places. The place is infested when it comes to drugs. It's infested when it comes to prostitution, and it comes to crime, and when it comes to, it's trashed and dilapidated and all that right there. And people get upset when they're like, well, you're moving the poor out of the place. What are you going to do with the poor? You haven't made any accommodations for the poor. And I'm like, I'm for the poor. Believe me, I'm with the argument on that. But here's the thing. I have found in the places I go, when I talk to people who are poor and those people who got out of poverty, not everybody is meant to be poor. There goes again. When you don't know who you are and you don't love yourself, you have a low, poor spirit. This is why it says in the ancient writings, the scrolls, the scriptures, whatever you want to call it, is blessed are those who are poor in spirit, because we can get so low in spirit, we can lose our way in knowing who is within us. But when you understand who you are, ain't nothing can stop you. Oh, I'm sorry. When you know who you are, there is no way you can be poor. It's almost impossible when you know what is great within you. It's almost impossible to be poor, because there's no excuses that you can make, and you're going to go out there and get it. And you're going to carry yourself with the brilliant mind that you have. You're going to be doing that that they or the system has said that needs to be done in order to be at a place of, you want to say, not poor. I believe that your basket will be full if you have this right spirit. I believe that. When I was in poor spirit, I was poor, broke, busted, and disgusted. I was the one. I didn't even know who I was back there when I was in my 20s. Stayed broke, had nothing, didn't have a pot to piss in. Stayed broke. That was me. And then one day, I woke up and I realized how brilliant I was. And it was like something got in me and I went for it. Why am I not taking college classes? Why am I not trying to start a business? It's like the veil was lifted, and it's like I saw it seemed like the world opened up to me. And I was like, why haven't I tried to do a business? Why haven't I went and tried school? Why haven't I tried? I did all these things. I'm gonna tell you, I got certificates, licenses. I got Look, I got so much. My kids chuckle at me like, Daddy, what don't you have? Why not? I'm going to try everything, especially if it's something going to deal with, me going ahead and become a better person, a better business person, whether it's for money or whether it's for, having my own, whether it's my independence, whatever it may be. I'm going for it. I'm a licensed realtor. I have a license for barbering. I had owned 3 beauty barbershops. I owned a beauty supply store. I was licensed security guard. Um, I I'm trying to think, because I got a few more. Um, geez, I'm over here looking at my wife like, babe, help me out, but she's on her computer. Nothing. Um, I have gotten um certification high school coaching. I got my certification for substitute teaching at school. I What else? What else I've got into? Um, I just got to think. I just got to think, I mean, the list can go on. And what it is that once I realized who I was, I realized I wasn't mediocre. I realized I wasn't average. And I was like, I was watching people around me who just didn't have the sense. And I was behaving like them. And I'm like, I am not them. I don't have to act like that. I'm not like this thuggish, ruggish guy that I thought I was, had to be like, act like. I ain't have to be that man out there running the streets, running the skirts, partying all the time, staying broke. And when I believe when you find out who you are and you love yourself, all will be open up to you. There's nothing that can stop you. Even though there's potholes and obstacles in the path, nothing can stop you. Nothing. Now, let me go ahead and put a disclaimer out there because we live in a world system that sometimes you have people who have to make the decisions for what you so-called want. I've been stopped by some things that I aspired to do, but only because of the whip of the pen of an individual stopped me from it. But it didn't mean that I couldn't continue to try though. Sometimes people are trying and striving to be things using their physical abilities, and their physical abilities just ain't kicking it. You might not be strong enough. You not may be fast enough. You might not be that in that area. There's always going to be somebody who might be ahead of you. So I'm not saying that you can do and be whatever you want to be. Some people believe in that. I don't. I'm saying you can go for and do what you want within what you're capable and able to do. I've met many people who didn't reach their goals. I met them and they believed, but I met many people who said they had goals and never tried. And typically on the journey of my life, what I found was like each time that I was trying or striving for something, it was for the betterment that I didn't get it, or I didn't go for it, or I didn't try it. It was amazing when you really look at it that, okay, why was I really wanting that? Or why did I really want to do that? Typically, you're going to find sometimes it's because of your ego. Trying to shine for others, trying to do for others, trying to, want people to look upon you like you something, you know. But we still have to, it doesn't matter. If you still know who you are and you still love yourself, all things will be open unto you. Meaning that now this right here is not in the way, you go for it. Let's read what's in the comments now, family. That it was it for me, just to sharing to build our people up. And sometimes you're going to see my videos and you're going to hear me say things that may not even sound right. You might be like, oh, you don't know what the heck he's talking about. But hey, I'm not talking to you. It may not apply to you. And some people get upset at that. Oh, he said, who am I? I'm just one pebble in the sand of a beach. That's all I am. I'm just a breath of air right now on a screen that one happens to be listening to. So let me see here. Anybody got any questions, comments, whatever? Hey, let's go ahead and read with some people. I mean, some people are agreeing with what I'm saying. I woke up. Yeah, there was a day I woke up, Sherelle. There's a day I woke up, and when I woke up, I'm telling you, I got busy. I was broke, busted, disgusted. I was really at a really bad place. For those who know my story. Mhm. Yeah, just because you poor and you have very little, don't mean. Look, my grandmother, she was a very poor woman, but you walk into her house, it was spotless clean, and she had good clothes to put on, place spotless, and her spirit was very rich, very rich. You think I have a bird? I don't know if you're talking to me or not. Yeah. Well, the woke bone, I say this right here. When you're woke in one area, you sleep in another area. And so, I don't think we all totally can be woke. I'm still waking up, you know, until it's time to go to sleep. So, yeah. What's wrong with America? Hey, that's an answer or question that's only can be posed to one person. My perception is a total different world than another person's. I can't get people to see what I see based upon the experience that I've had. You know, I would say this right here. The world is a crazy place, and that includes America. Africa is included in that. I ain't gonna sit here, like I said, and for those who just probably came in later, Africa has its issues too. America and England and India and China and Japan and Australia, everywhere you find human beings, there are problems. That's just how it is. But if you want me to really answer your question, what's wrong with America? My thing is that I can find many of things wrong with America. But as soon as I say those things was wrong with America, I gotta also tell you what's good about America. There's some good stuff about America. Yeah. What we got here? We got after being blackballed in '78 from being the I guess that's the first female architect for oldest comp in Atlanta, Georgia. I went in being a school instructor, if not 33 years, and inherited my late mom's home. But I wanna, okay, so you ran out of whatever, you ran out of words, whatever. Yeah, I guess you didn't get what you were blackballed. Hey, blackballed, and it took you in a total different direction. And you can sit there and wallow in your tears and and soak in your misery. But where does that get you at? Because a brilliant person, one who is smart, wise, knows that the world is open to them. There are many of things I can get involved into. Who said I have to go through this? That's the setup that we do to our own anyway. What do you want to be when you grow up? See, that right there is damning somebody. That's damning your own children. What do you want to? You're confining them to one option of life, huh? What about let's change those words and say, hey, what are some of the things that you would love to try or like to do when you grow up? And when they only give you one, you can correct them and say, oh, you got many of things that are brilliant in you. You are really smart and brilliant. There are many things in you that you can do. Which ones of them you want to do? Here's another person. Man, why did you close the comments? Because I wanted people to be able to channel what I was saying and without the burden of wanting to respond. Some people couldn't do it because they shot me email, But hey, how many people shuts off the comments? And let's say this right here. How does it make you feel when you can't respond? That is a good self reflection of watching oneself and how do you behave if you could not respond? I mean, if I shut off the comments right now on this, I would be willing to bet it'd be a lot of people who wouldn't even be on here because we got to stay busy with something. Let me type something. How many people can sit back and just absorb, try to get to an understanding of a person and they're talking and then doing some self reflecting? Is that me? Let me build off what this brother's saying. It might be negative or whatever. Look, because you can always find positive and negative. Because people come at me and be like, you this, you that, and I'm like, yeah, I am. I can be an a-hole sometimes. Yes. Why would I say I would not be? There's time, I can be the worst person you can ever meet, but yet again, I could be the most loving person. It depends on where you meet me. We all got it in us. Ugly, beautiful, bad, good, sad, happy. It's all in us. But when soon as somebody say right here, well, you're the kind of like this right here. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But I closed the comments though because I didn't want. I was hoping that those who watch the video with this is a thing that I've noticed too, and I've asked the question to a couple of people. When you go and watch the video, do you immediately go to try to read some of the comments? And sometimes reading the comments can sway you into saying things from bail off of somebody based off what somebody else has said. So I didn't want the energy, people taking others' energy to go ahead and respond in a way. I was like, nah. Do you know, hence, that YouTube decide only to show the thumbs up number and not the thumbs down? See, they already know. They just recently started that too. See, I did this whole thing last year and pulling out the comments and seeing, you know what? How many people are really into the message and not just having sidebar conversations that is not about the message? Because when you read the comments, it's like a lot of people's comments, they're having, conversation with other people in the chat. And I understand it, I get it, but sometimes I turn off the comments, especially if it could be controversial. Yeah. Well, Theo, people want to talk about China. China, look, do y'all know what's going on right now with China and America? Do y'all not know we are like really close to a brink of war with China? Nobody's talking about it. I don't even see much conversation of it. Do you not know China owns a nice portion of America? Do you know China owns a port in Los Angeles? Do you not know China owns banks in America? Do you not know China owns a lot of companies and businesses in America? Google and type in. See, people want to talk about China and Africa. Look, this is a universal world. And you get in and do business wherever you can go in and do business to spread your wings. But people always want to say China and Africa. China, Africa. China is everywhere. Africa needs to start spreading its wings and be everywhere. Become global. I've said this before, family. We have to stop thinking single-mindedness. We got to open up and be able to join forces, join hands with the global world. What do I mean by that? Your country, whatever you are, do not have every mineral, every gem, every thing that you dig in the ground that you can get. There are some that have steel that you got to buy steel from. There are those who have the iron, and some that have the ore, and some has the coal. You have to start doing businesses with others in order to create and build and develop your country. you know I've said this before. If you ain't got different nationalities in your circle of people that you either doing business with, or you could be in school, you could be on a job. It's good to have a diverse group of people. You learn a lot in the connections you have. If you want to stay around just with your own, I mean, come on, use what is giving you for your benefit. You become broad now. Because I mean, really, if you try to hang with your own, you can only get so far. When am I going to start a? Let's see here. When am I going to start a GoFundMe? When we are we going to start a GoFundMe account to see who's ready to leave? Go ahead and start it. I'm not going to start it. I'm not one trying to manage it. I'm not one going to be up here taking no hits from those out there talking about, oh, I started a GoFundMe and took the money and runs in. Now I ain't dealing with all that. I don't like to deal with people's money. I don't like to deal with other people's money. You know. Good. You're all ears, Eden. Well, real truth. Devils devils want to suppress the truth. They don't want the truth to be evident. Only shows the likes is a false sense of reality. There is no truth in Satan's seed. You know, guess where that seed is planted? Right here. That seed, if you will, Satan, be your worst. You could be your worst enemy. A lot of us a lot of us are our own worst enemy. It ain't the white man. It's ourself. We will destroy ourselves before anyone else will. I mean, it is amazing. I raise my hand because so y'all know I ain't just talking about no just anybody, and I'm not included. I was so destructive with myself. I drank myself almost to death. I sexed myself and got diseases and the children out of wedlock. I daggone was out here doggone running a reckless life, got arrested 3 times. I was destroying myself, and the white man didn't do nothing about that. The white man had nothing to do about that. Our problem is we are self-destructive, and the white man may not be the enemy. You your own enemy. Some people want to say the devil. Some The devil is nothing more than this the evil spirit or a evil I would say spirit, if you will, a thought process, a mindset, a mentality that you destroying your own self and don't even realize it. Don't even realize it. Your worst enemy. We so focused, worried about somebody else out there, about they trying to do wrong by me or do wrong by us, when it is us who's the one doing all the destructiveness to ourselves. And that's real. Well, hey, China is about to be the next superpower. Well, I tell you this right here. Every dog has its day. There's always going to be a new rising of one. And I thought about this just yesterday. I said, if China, because like I said, they're not talking about what's going on really, because China is trying to overtake Taiwan, and then yet, Taiwan is kind of tied in with Australia and the US and all that right there. And is the US going to back up Taiwan? Or is it, yeah, Taiwan? And, because they want to absorb them or what have you. Am I saying, is it Taiwan? I think so. But and so there's this military presence that are encountering airspaces and water spaces and stuff, and Biden already said he will be there to defend. Now China, who has their little backing with North Korea's got a backing on them, and Russia says that they are still will be a support with China in a sense that you know China, they weighing out some stuff. Now, what would this world be like if China defeated America? We all be speaking Mandarin, I think it is. Mandarin, would they speak? Oh, Africa would be the foothold. You better believe Africa, they would automatically take over Africa. That'd be the footprint. Now, me spending 20 years in the military, and I know strategically how America is, that China don't have that, that's going to be their biggest problem. Because the military, America has military bases practically in almost every country except for China. And when you talk about China's, by what it's surrounded by, basically except for the north of it, when you got South Korea, the military's got Japan and military bases there in Japan, and when they got Navy that might be there, how's over in, whether it might be over in the Philippines or whether it might be over in, I mean, it's all spread over. You just got to look it up and see where all these military bases in the U.S. have. China's got, they're gonna be, they are already strategically thinking about it, but yeah, China might be. Well, you say all African Americans move to the West Africa shall regret later. I don't know about that. I mean, who knows? Nobody knows which way, or west or east, what's regret, I mean, I wish everybody the best wherever they find themselves. Don't even have to be Africa. If you feel it's Ghana, if you feel it's Liberia, Sierra Leone, if you feel as though that it is wherever, Tanzania, South Africa, whether it might be in Morocco or Egypt, if that is where you have found your peace, man, I'm all for you. I'm all for you. I'm privy to certain areas of Africa, but that don't mean that I have a disregard for others. Yeah, I mean, I got 5 more minutes, family. So, but I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that by me trying to build up, bring awareness to Africa, to the African Americans, to the Afro Europe, the Afro Canadians, whatever. I hope that those people who are mature enough can see that it ain't about me trying to belittle or trying to hurt or trying to badmouth Africa country or what have you. I mean, shoot, I spent a lot of time doing that on damn America. But no, I'm going to point out some things, especially at this point in time. It's time for truth to be revealed now about Africa. Africa now, it's making strides. There are some African leaders now who realize that by having their hands out, that these other countries that they were doing business with have actually been hindering them instead of really pushing, forward, so there are some African countries that are just thriving, and there are some African countries that needs to get on board. And my thing is that sometimes it takes an outsider to share about the dirt that one might be in order for them to see, hey, you know no different than I keep saying, because I've had a few of the Africans who left Africa, who's in the Western world, who likes to give me heat when I talk about something that they don't like about their country. And I say, why aren't you in your country? If you love your country so much, why aren't you there? And guess what? Do something about it, what I'm talking about. But we want to deflect. But where you come from in America, they have this problem, this matter, and you just blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna. I won't. You will never hear me argue about America being some great. America got its issues too. You got some poverty-stricken areas. You got some trashy areas. You got dirty, filthy places. The sad part is we argue over these places. Ain't even ours. It ain't even ours. Ain't nothing ours on this earth. You can temporarily enjoy it for a moment, but when you close your eyes and take that last breath, it ain't yours. Matter of fact, to help some of y'all who are wondering about buying land and all that right there, you never own land. You will never own land. I don't know why people think they own land. You can never own land. Not while you're paying taxes on it. Or there is an eminent domain clause in it that they can take it whenever they feel like it. You can never own it. Owning means outright. It's yours. No, stop paying those taxes, especially in damn America. Guess what happens? Uh, they'll take it from you. So it's not yours. It's always theirs. That's the dividing lines of property plots, or your property lines. It was always put in place that the government, the system will always make money off of you. Point blank. From the day you were born, you came in, there was a dollar amount put on your head, how much you will bring into an economy that is built in so that they know what a country is worth. It's facts. So to ease some of you all's people's pains and stuff right there, you'll never own land. Never. Africa, you lease land. Oh, well, you got some land that you don't lease. It's just you're gonna die, and guarantee those who talk about that right there, your own family members don't even come over to Africa. Who you leaving it to? You know how many African countries right now are starting to tax their citizens? They're finally realizing that, you know what? We need to have some type of taxing system in order to utilize the money for the building of infrastructures. Those who are in Ghana, you need to look at what Ghana's about to do. And some of the people don't want the taxes. They'd rather keep everything the way it is. Things are changing rapidly. So that's what I'm saying, is that nothing on this earth is yours, nothing. So we just need to get to a place to say, hey, I need to love myself, go ahead, enjoy this life, do whatever that I'm able to do, and have the fun, and just, love people while you're doing it, and have your great fun, and do right by what it is. Man, it's a beautiful life. Yeah. And whatever country you find that is conducive to you, go for it. Don't listen to me about what my thing. Well, Go Black said that this place. That's why every time I talk about a country and share with the good and the bads of it, you will always hear me say this right here. The people are great. Number two, you're going to hear me say, you ought to come visit the place. Who cares what I think? I'm giving my overview of the place. I'm sharing with it, not for the sake of keeping somebody from going or trying to push and promote somebody going. I'm sharing with it through the eyes of a lens of my camera, and also by my views of that country that you just have a little taste of. But please, by all means, go see for yourself, because what may be something that I see might be magnified. You be like, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. I can live with like this all day long. He said they kicked you out of Africa. Nah, they didn't kick me out of Africa, but I tell you this right here, with that daggone people running around scared of the variant, and then now these countries start to close up the borders. Or what happened basically to me, I couldn't get to other African countries because some were narrowing the time frame of getting your COVID test, and able to I couldn't get from east of Africa to the west of Africa to the east of Africa in the right amount of time. Like Tanzania needed 72 hours. You got to have your COVID test must be within 72-hour window from the time that from the time of leaving to getting to there. It must be that, and the time would expire. Yeah. Well, you saw, man, in America. See, only the jab can travel now. I saw a video of an African man stuck in an airport in Canada because he is not jabbed. Stay put. No traveling unless you are jabbed. Well, that's not necessarily true. You don't have to be. You know, um, there are America still lets you travel without it. You know, there are a lot of countries that you don't have to have it, but boy, that window was closing really fast. Let's see here. Okay. I didn't know they had a West to East Africa highway. Oops, that's the wrong one. Medical exams, get your exemptions rather. Yeah, You can get some exemptions. Yeah. All right, family. Well, I thank each and every one of you all for just listening. And I hope that I was able to at least wake something up in those maybe who don't know that you're brilliant, those who don't realize that, in you is something greater than what you think or know. And if you can tap into that, the world becomes yours. There's no boundaries, there is no limits based upon what you think your skin color is, or your sex, or your culture, your religion. All of those will box you in. They will keep you from the world being yours, because they all limit you, because they have rules and regulations that will hinder you. When you become open, an open free spirit, you really break through all that. You can become free. That's why I don't label myself such. People want to know what my religion, or even then I'll say my skin may be black, but there is a difference between that and my spirit. All black people don't do that. But who black people don't surf? Black people don't, go do this or that or that or this. This does not hinder me from doing what is that I choose to do and want to do. But when you have categories of identification, they block you in, and it enslaves you. I've already answered the question about the why did I shut off the comments. I answered that twice. Okay, black empowerment, ignore ignorance. Yeah. Don't you like it? Ignore ignorance has ignore in it. Ignore it. Yeah, we can fix backyard. Hey, you got to fix your own backyard before you try to go and fix somebody else's. Good for you going snowboarding. Appreciate that, Sherelle. Yeah. So that was my thing. And I hope that some of you all can salvage some of what I'm saying. And some of y'all can even digest that. You know what? It's time for us to change, family. It is time for us to change our mindset. It's time for us to go to the next level of a thought process, of our spiritual sense, of our even our physical sense. Because we are just a decrep type of, when I say we, as a people, decrep, decap, we are, just handicapped. And we have to remove these chains from off of our brains. And who do we think we are? You know, I mean, even when we talk about black community, well, you know what? Black community. What is black community when you really think about it? I won't go down there. That's going to have to be another subject. But when you think about it, black community, we scattered all over the place. Black community. But I appreciate each and every one of you all for chiming in. For those who right there listen, those who had a heart of giving, those right there who your kind words, your motivational words and prayers and stuff from that does not go unnoticed. And I'm thanking each and every one of you all for that. And so with that, family, I wish each and every one of you all peace and blessings in your life. Touch the power that is within you, because you are brilliant. Don't compare yourself to nobody else. I don't care if they black. Stop comparing yourself with people who don't know who they are. Stop acting like people who don't know who they are, dressing like, walking like, talking like, behaving like. You are brilliant. Stand and set yourself apart from those who haven't found who they are yet. Now you don't have to have an argument of debate when somebody generalizes a male, female, black, whatever, because you don't have to be put in the same box as many who are lost. With that, family, This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. All right, family. Y'all have a beautiful night.